I have not seen
No,
anything.
it's EDM, but every
Oh.
single song is like the same 3 or 4 notes that are just on a loop.
You described EDM.
No, there's no. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Anime Club After Dark, the podcast that delves into all things anime, manga, and otaku culture related. I'm your host, Alex, but you can call me Senpai, and joining me tonight, I have our actuary of ass, Vlad.
Hello.
He has a nickname. He's here forever now.
You can't get rid of me.
No,
Like a bad penny.
And our smooth chocolate voice, Brian.
Greetings, fellow viewers.
See what I mean?
Don't worry, I'll be sticking around for a while.
Oh boy. I don't know if that's a threat or a promise, but I'll take it as both.
I'll let them decide.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
No, not that.
Don't threaten me with a good
there's
time.
No threats happening here, I swear. Please, don't hurt me.
But anyway,
There's
so
not a
before-
gun pointed at my kidneys. Don't worry about it.
No, not at all, the slightest.
Ooh, that tickles.
Jesus Christ. Alright, so before we actually get into it tonight, we have a fair bit of news and stuff to cover because a lot of stuff has happened in the anime world over the last week since we've recorded. The first I want to talk about is a bit of sad news. Production IMS had declared bankruptcy last week. Like, officially
really?
declared bank. It was a long time coming because they announced back in, or it was revealed back in December that they had stopped paying their animators, which is a big fucking red flag. But it's always kind of sad when an anime studio declares bankruptcy. Some of their catalog of shows, they had Data Live, they had was it Testament, Sister New, whatever the fuck that show was called. The Testament of Sister New Devil. I could never forget how that went, which one went first. They also had Gonna Be the Twin Tail, High School Fleet, Castletown Dandelion, and Maso Gakuen HXH, whatever that means. But yeah, this is I mean, they haven't been around for long. I think they've only been around since February 2013. So they didn't really have much of a time to get like a legacy, but they were kind of setting themselves up as a ecchi comedy specialist studio, and they were doing pretty good at it.
Well, it's good to hear at least. Something
Well,
good.
Yeah. Also, I actually just recently watched High School Fleet on recommendation from John. It's hella cute, and it's actually like moe with legitimate plot. So,
Oh, well,
for anyone out there,
That sounds pertinent to my interest. I might have to check that out.
So I mean, they did have a couple of good things. I can say that this seems like from the beginning, this studio was very ineptly financially run. Because they had this is not the first time, like back in December when some animators came forward and said they weren't getting paid. That's not the first time that animators at Production IMS had come forward and said that. So,
Oh, I actually recognize this anime, the High School Fleet, because I have some of the boats in in World of Warships. There was a cross promotion thing, and man, you want to talk about a grind? I worked for those boats, and now I have them.
I had to grind for these shit
I
girls.
had to grind for these ship girls, so I can hear an anime girl say yokai instead of just some dude yell Roger. Hashtag worth it. I will be the first to admit that the entirety of my knowledge of how an animation studio is run comes from watching Shirobako. Like, that was A, a good anime, and B, like, my only source of what I would call legitimate knowledge of the industry. And it seems rather dog-eat-dog.
Yes, it is. And it's a lot of very long hours for very little pay. And apparently absolutely no pay if you work for Production IMS.
It's not no pay; it's IOUs. They're
Yeah,
useful
and actually
later.
I don't think this has been necessarily confirmed yet, but there have been some animators that said toward the end over the last few months they were basically getting paid with IOUs that are now, since they've declared bankruptcy, are absolutely worthless. So you have some animators who have conceivably gone 6 months without pay.
Oof.
Lord Almighty.
Yeah.
How do you manage that?
Well, and again, I don't think this has been necessarily confirmed yet, but I think there were some animators who were basically living at the studio.
Oh, okay, that would make sense.
So they basically had no living expenses if you're living at the animation studio, so you can afford to not be paid.
Yeah.
I just think since this is not the first time that animators at this particular studio have said that they were having trouble getting paid, it just makes me think that this is just a very badly financially run studio from the very beginning. And it just goes, I've said this before on the podcast, that you run this risk when you have an animation studio founded by former animators. Animators are really good at drawing. They're not really good at crunching numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, they did sign up to do one thing. Why make them do another?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of why I look at Trigger and think, wow, they've actually fucking done it. It's literally a studio run by animators that's financially and fiscally run very well. At least so far.
Speaking of Trigger, by the way, should we mention what happened announced in the newest episode of Franks?
Oh, I haven't
let's-
watched the newest episode of Franks yet.
I haven't
well, it's
either.
not-
I had
was
to
going
wait
to watch
for
it
it.
later
Nothing
tonight.
well, in the newest episode of Franks, I'm pretty sure you all mentioned it prior. The Kill a Kill video game being created by Arc Sys Works.
Oh yes,
yeah.
yes. We can definitely talk about that. So yeah, it was just announced today, as a matter of fact, a few hours ago, before we started recording, that Kill la Kill is getting an official video game adaptation, and I, for one, could not be happier. It looks like it's going to be a fighting game.
Oh,
Of
for sure.
sorts?
It looks like it's going to be in the same regards to the Dragon Ball Fighter Z game that came out, where it's going to be 2D, hand animation, and all that. It looks like it's going to be great.
Yeah, I mean, and Trigger themselves are doing some of the work for it, so it'll look good.
Oh, of
Or it
course.
should look good.
And I'm
it's
assuming
also
they're
being
gonna-
done by it's been being done in a collaboration with Arc System Works, who have a really good history with fighting games.
Exactly. They've always made, like, A grade, S plus fighting games. They've always been phenomenal with their work.
Yeah.
I really
don't-
hope that they have like a story mode where you have to go through all of the various clubs and just kick the absolute Christ out of all the club leaders.
That would be funny.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yes. I mean, this is also not Trigger's first foray into making a video game adaptation of one of their properties. They recently did, actually last year rather, did Little Witch Academia Chamber of Time. I haven't played it yet, but I actually very recently just bought it, so I'll be playing it very soon. But it looks good and it got great reviews. So
I really wish I really need to get a PS4 so I can hop on the anime bandwagon with the video games at least.
well, you don't have to have a PS4 to play Little Witch Academia. It's on PC.
I just recently upgraded, so there's things I did not know. So I'm
we
slowly
don't-
learning what games exist on PC.
I
lot
just
more
found
than you
out
think.
that they I don't know if they made an adaptation, I guess, of Valkyria Chronicles for PC, and I've been
Yes.
very much enjoying that.
Yes.
I bought a controller, wireless controller, and this is the only game that I've used it for. I bought it to play Battlefield, but turns out I'm much better with keyboard and mouse in those types of games than I am with a controller. But the interface is much better with a controller in Valkyria Chronicles.
It was designed to be used with a
It
controller,
really
though.
was. Was that a PS2 title?
PS2 or PS3, I can't remember.
Really? PS3?
I think it was PS3
It may have
Really?
been a PS3 launch title. Now that I think about it,
launch title. Are you sure?
I don't remember exactly when it came
I
out.
thought it was
I know,
a lot older.
I don't know.
All I know is we're getting Valkyria Chronicles 4 in this year, so I'm hype.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the Kill la Kill game. Not a lot of detail was released about it, but we have been told that more details will be released at Anime Expo in just a few weeks.
There you go.
So I'm sure there's going to be a Actually, the character designer from Kill la Kill will be at Anime Expo, so I'm sure they'll be announcing a lot more stuff there, and maybe there'll be another trailer, and who knows?
I think they'll have a demo there, honestly.
They may actually have a
It
demo.
looks
there.
like
That's a good
they've
point.
got some
really
screenshots
crazy.
from it.
Yeah, that's all we got so far. Were just some
Yeah.
screenshots, not even a trailer. So
Yeah. We also know that it'll be released sometime in 2019, so we're not getting it this year.
well, I mean,
Which is
2019, since E3 just recently wrapped up, it seems like it's going to be the year of the video games for sure.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised slightly that this wasn't announced at E3.
I guess maybe they were really trying to. Arc Systems wasn't really prominent at E3. They were kind of like, "Hey, Dragon Ball's coming to the Switch," and that was really all they said. So
Yeah, after being hounded for many months from Switch, I was like, "Hey, you got any more of those adaptations?"
you got any more of those Switch ports? Well,
That's literally every single Switch owner on the planet. Hey, you guys got any Switch ports coming soon?
You got any more of those franchise ports? Come on, let me get Fortnite on the Switch. Oh wait, that's reality now. No one asked for that, but
I'm just picturing the Dave Chappelle skit.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, that's the
What was the
reference.
character's name?
remember.
Tyrone Biggins. There we go.
Tyrone Biggins.
My name is Tyrone Biggins. I smoke rocks. Yeah. Great skit.
Good skit indeed.
Moving on, we have a couple of other anime announcements that actually came out over the last week. I think one of the biggest ones is that Netflix came out and said they are renewing both Castlevania and Be the Beginning for additional seasons. Castlevania hasn't even aired its second season yet, and they've already announced that they're doing a third season. So
Good. I really
they
like
obviously
the first
have
season.
a lot of confidence in what's going to happen in the second season. I haven't seen Be the Beginning, the first season of that, but from what I understand, a lot of people were kind of lukewarm on it at best. But obviously Netflix has some faith in it, so it's just really weird that you're seeing a season renewal before this year's season has actually come out.
I mean, that seems like something that Netflix can afford to do, honestly.
Oh yeah,
Like-
Netflix has so much money they can afford to take whatever risk they want, really.
Yeah, and if they, even if this just ends up being a passion project for somebody at Netflix saying, I want more of this, that's all right. Surely there are more people that will feel the same way, and either it becomes just a nice backlog that they have to fall back on when their contracts with other studios runs out, or whatever, or it becomes super popular because, the first two seasons were really kind of a slow burn, but the third season really just blew it out of the water.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I mean, obviously, whatever happens in the second season, Netflix is like, all right, we got to keep this train going. And the Castlevania anime was really good. For a video game adaptation, it was pretty fucking good. I mean, you see a lot of anime video game adaptations that are absolutely god awful, and this one was really good.
No, I agree with you there. The Castlevania anime was just fantastic. I was very sad that it was so short.
Yeah, but I mean, then we get extra seasons, so
It works. I'm
yeah,
looking
you
at
gotta,
this.
You gotta balance the pro and the con there, I guess.
I'm looking at this Be the Beginning, the screenshots and stuff, and this looks spooky. I'm about it. The rough plot that is given is that there is this person that joins the Royal Police Force just as the serial killer B emerges and commits a double murder, and now they're trying to find the murder, and it sounds like just a noir, I don't know. I really like the criminal underground aspect of various animes, oh shoot, what was Psychopaths?
Bakano?
I haven't gotten to Bakano yet, but Psychopaths was good and spooky. I like
Psychopaths
that.
was very spooky, and I loved it.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, good on Netflix for doing this. I mean, they're definitely doubling and tripling down on their anime boner, and
Oh, I mean, it's working.
for
They
it.
knew that. It's like, hey, with the release of, other prior series like that, and it really just skyrocketed just Netflix's usage and view rates in general. It's crazy
Yeah.
to see how much more popular it is, despite how popular it already was. And
Yeah.
now I actually am considering getting a Netflix subscription.
Yeah, I'm glad to see Netflix getting into this more than Amazon was. Like I have Amazon Prime, and for the hot minute that anime was something that they were focusing on with their streaming service, there were some okay titles on there, but the only thing that I really watched was the Cabanari. Is that it?
You didn't watch Made in Abyss?
No, it just didn't strike my interest at the
You know
time.
what? Fair enough. I thought it was phenomenal.
But the Iron Fortress.
Oh, Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress.
Yeah. That was the only thing that I really cared to watch, and everything else in their catalog was kind of just either I'd already seen it or didn't really have a desire to see it, and
Yeah.
I
mean, and it's worth noting that Amazon still actually does license anime. They're just not going after it like they were before.
right, they don't have a huge hard on for it, unlike apparently Netflix
And it's not
does.
and it's not behind a double paywall either.
Yeah.
Which is actually an improvement, I would say.
That was bonkers, that whole situation with the double paywall. I remember that. Good lord.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. The last piece of news I want to get into, and this is strictly because I fucking love this show. We finally have a premiere date for Index Season 3. Holy fuck, World War 3 is finally happening.
I'm not too familiar with the title name. Can you explain it really quickly?
What, a certain magical index?
Yes, I'm actually not familiar with it.
Oh.
I feel like I should be
well,
because the name strikes me.
Yeah, well, okay, so the non-spoilery rundown of the story is, so there's this city where, like, geniuses and shit live, called Academy City, and some of them have powers, and some of them have, like, some of them are clones, and it's absolutely bonkers, but the crux of the story is there's, like, this mystery that's going on inside the city, and then this group of people are trying to figure out what the fuck is actually going on. That's basically it.
That's
I
a
really
very
can't,
vague description,
I can't
but
non-spoilerize it much more.
No, that's perfectly fine.
well, you can spoil this part of it. Who's this nun-looking loli?
That's Index.
That's
Oh,
Index. All right.
Her name is
Index.
Index.
Is the name. Oh.
Interesting. I recognize
is
that
interesting.
character from a meme, and that's the only reason that I recognize this at all. I like the art
Yeah.
style.
Yeah, like when this actually, like, because the Index and Railgun franchise in Japan is huge. So when this show drops, it's going to be a big deal. So it'll probably be the biggest thing during the fall season because it's coming out it's going to premiere in October. So it'll be part of the fall season. It doesn't have an episode count yet. I'm hoping it's going to be at least 24 episodes.
Is that Railgun anime worth watching?
Yes, I would actually say it's even better than Index.
Really? Okay, I
Really?
might have to watch that then.
So okay, the kind of there's a slight story behind that for those who are unaware. So, a certain magical index is based on a light novel series that was really pretty popular when it first came out, and still is. But one of the side characters in that show, Misaka, became really really popular. She's the railgun. That's her power. She can control electricity. And she became really, really popular. So the guy who wrote the Index light novel started doing a spin-off called A Certain Scientific Railgun that was focused on her. And that ended up becoming super popular. In fact, more popular than the Index light novels. So, and then there's a whole other anime spin-off with Railgun, and it's just it's an insane, like, it's a really big universe that's been created through this.
Interesting.
Yeah. And the big arc that I assume they're going to adapt for the third season of Index is the World War III arc. And it's fucking insane in the light novels.
I guess I'm diving into this.
Yeah.
Seems like he's going head first.
It's pretty good. I will say, sadly, this is one of those series that doesn't have the best English dub. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not great, so...
That's all right. I mostly watch sub.
Yeah. I just gonna throw that out there.
The sub is good, though, I assume.
Huh?
The sub is good, though.
Oh, yeah. The show is phenomenal, and the light novels are 10 times better.
Fair enough. It might be something worth reading instead of watching, actually.
It is. And, like, if you're gonna choose one or the other, I would read it.
I just wish I had time for reading.
Don't we all?
I had to carve out gross amounts of time between work and everything else to read. I read the entirety of Gunsmith Cats. That was fantastic.
Yes, as you should read that.
It's excellent. So much better than just the OVAs.
Yes. I would like to last thing about Index, and then we'll move on. It has also been revealed that a vast majority of the staff and cast members are returning to do the same stuff and reprise the same roles. So that's great.
So everything
It's
is
been
gonna be
it's been
exactly
a
the
few
same.
years. It's been a few years since Index and Railgun have been around. So
Okay.
it's
that. Now I see why that's actually a big deal.
yes.
All right
So-
then.
Moving on to our actual topic for tonight.
Alex, what are we actually doing tonight?
So, what are we actually talking about tonight,
What's the
Senpai?
plan, Stan?
So, we're gonna actually kind of cream ourselves over our favorite animators. So the idea is each of us are gonna pick a couple of animators and talk about the works that they do, why we like their style, and kind of recommend some other stuff that they've done that you yourself can go watch. Some of these animators are also directors and writers, and they do other things too. But they don't necessarily get a lot of credit when, anime are made. So I thought it would be a good idea to... Actually, this is Natai's idea, and he's not even here. But I thought it'd be a good idea for us to, give them some love. Because they don't get enough love sometimes. You think about, like, the voice actors and the, everybody else that's involved in it, and you very rarely think of the directors and the actual animators involved.
No, it's a good. I understand that 100%.
Yeah. So I'll go ahead and I'll start off with my first one. So the first director that I want to talk about is a man by the name of Akiyuki Shinbo. So if you've never actually, if you've never watched anything by Shaft, you probably don't know who Akiyuki Shinbo is, especially anything done by Shaft since 2004. But yeah, Akiyuki Shinbo is he is the most prominent director, animator over at Studio Shaft. He's been there since 2004. He's probably best known for two very different things. The first one would be Maho Shoujo Madoka Magica. And then the other thing he is really famous for is being the chief animator and director of the Monogatari series.
Oh, this dude does moe like you would not believe.
Cool. He does do a little bit of moe. What he's actually more known for is what's been kind of called a Japanese neo-noir style. It's very what's the word I'm looking for? It's very distinct. Like I've gotten to the point now where I can look at something and I can tell within 2 minutes whether it's been directed by Akiyuki Shinbo, just based on the style alone.
I mean, I'm looking at some of the art from the various titles, and this is, if I had to use a word, it would be moe. Although he has an interesting variety in what he does. He does everything from Starship Girl Yamamoto to
I'd forgotten about that one.
that was back in '98.
That was 98, and I had forgotten he actually worked on
Metal Fighter Miku from '94. Good lord.
He also worked on Tsukiyomi.
He did. Oh my god.
I'd like to point out he also did Negima, which is nothing but fucking moe fucking middle school girls.
Oh lord.
And now he's working on Fate Extra Last Encore. Or is that
basically
finished?
if it's a high profile thing that's being done by Studio Shaft, he's going to be tagged in to head it. But he has this great style. He uses colors really, really well. He uses in between animations to almost move the story along. And a really great examples of this can be found in the Monogatari series, where you just have these random fades to just colors and scenes that seemingly have nothing to do with the story, but they do kind of move the narrative along. And I can't really think off the top of my head of any other director that's ever done anything remotely similar to that and make it work.
That just makes me think that this guy does
Drugs.
Yeah, like just an absolute ass ton of weed, and it's like, all right,
Oh no, I don't think it's
time.
weed. I think it's ecstasy.
You think it's ecstasy?
I mean, you have to understand that weed has a very negative connotation in Asia,
Does it really? I would have
whereas
thought it'd be
ecstasy
opium.
does not. Ecstasy is by far the drug of choice in Japan.
Huh.
Is it really? I'm surprised. I need to know why you know that statistic.
I don't know. I just do.
That's
Fair enough. I won't question it.
you know what? Sometimes we just
but
know
I will
things.
say this, to quote a character from the Monogatari series: I don't know everything. I just know what I know.
Fair enough. You know what? I like that answer.
I've always wanted so badly to use that quote in context, like in the real world.
You finally did. Look at you.
No, I meant like with people who don't watch anime.
What?
You mean that
I know
there's
it's hard to believe
people
there are people out there who
that
don't watch anime.
I mean, I'm gonna have to ask you on the source material for that statistic right there.
I need at least 3 sources, and 2 of them have to be not Wikipedia.
And I'm also gonna need a verbal witness.
In the words of Mark Zuckerberg, let my people get back to you on that one.
Fair enough. I'll expect the response from you soon.
So besides Madoka Magica and the Monogatari series, which are all absolutely wonderful, except the new Madoka movies, they're not that great. But that's not really Shimbo's fault. He's working with some interesting source material. He's also, as we've already mentioned, he did way back in the 90s Starship Girl Yamato. He did Tsukuyomi. He's done Negima. Hidamari's Sketch in 2007. Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei, which is also absolutely phenomenal. What else has he done? Maria Holic, which has a fucking gorgeous trap character in it. What else has he done? Arakawa Under the Bridge, which will make you fucking cry. He's
I'd
also
like to
done.
See it try.
He's done. He also was the chief animation director on March Comes In Like a Lion, which is what made me fucking cry like a baby almost every single episode. And also you can see his influence just absolutely throughout March Comes In Like a Lion. But yeah, he's got a pretty big. Portfolio here that he's worked on, and very different genres.
Yeah,
very diverse
he's doing
genres that he's
everything
worked on.
from like vampires to just. I'm looking at some moe lesbians right now.
Yeah,
Space, literally space battleships, and
Yeah.
oh, man, there's quite a variety here. You
Yeah.
can find
And he also
anything
he
that
also-
you like.
Huh?
You can find just about anything that you like in his
Oh
catalog.
yeah, just about any genre that you
Good
like, he's
Lord.
worked on.
I might have to try this Maria Holic right here.
It does have an adorable trap character.
That's her. Oh man, sold. Boom. Wrap it up for me. Gift wrap, please.
Alright. Well, Vlad, why don't you go with your first one?
Oh man, well, because my tongue is not made for the finer languages. Why don't you go ahead and pronounce that for me?
Oh, okay.
No,
So
I think
you want
we
this
should
again?
really
All right.
No.
Stick to it. No. We should stick to our roots here. It's your choice. You should pronounce it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're just gonna go with.
Go on, make my day.
Good Lord. All right. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna play this game where Vlad says it really, really bad, and then Alex corrects him, and Vlad tries again, still does it wrong, and then Alex says it good again. All right.
I love this game.
You're putting a lot of pressure on me.
Guys, I'm a pint in. Kill me.
Whose fault is that?
We're not gonna get into that.
Go on.
Fuck. Uma no
That's not how it's
Suka-
pronounced.
No, Umanosuke Ilda, right? Something like that?
Close enough. Umanosuke Ida.
Ida.
I
There
love
we go.
this game.
It's a fucking awful game.
It starts with 2 I's, not an L and an I.
Oh, is it 2 eyes? Oh, I thought it was an L. My bad. That's why.
That means you just have to enunciate the I. Ida.
Aida. All right. Well, this is what really made me fall in love with this director was in fact Helsing, which
Hell.
Yeah.
right. It takes working with such dark colors is something that is very difficult to do, and I think that Hellsing was an excellent example of how you can do it. Of course, they were the director and storyboard for that, but even going as far back as let's see, Castle in the Sky, Mobile Suit Gundam, like they worked on that a fair bit.
Yeah, he also, fair point, got his start in anime doing in-between animations on the very first anime that I ever watched, Nosk of the Valley of the Wind.
Wow, what a good choice for first anime. How did you... that's for another time, how you got about getting that.
I was, 5 years old?
Lord.
Wow. But I think that the thing that people will know the most recognizable title is possibly Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
he did
course.
storyboard for episode 19.
Yeah, he did storyboards, but he didn't do directing.
No. He just storyboard for episode 19. Yeah, he
Really?
I loved Hellsing so much. So good. I also fell in love with Hellsing Ultimate Abridged, and I watch that about once a year in preparation for the new episodes that come out every year in October. It's like a birthday gift for myself. I love it. It's so fucking quotable.
Quotable. That's actually a great way to describe something. I love it when something is very, very quotable.
Yeah. Yeah, he's worked on a lot of stuff in multiple different roles.
Yeah, he's done a little bit of everything, which is really, I think that speaks more to him as a person and as a professional than anything else.
He's worked on some stuff that I personally feel is very underrated. He worked on Birdie the Mighty Decode, which is an underrated sci-fi series in my opinion.
I
Also,
heard one of
Origin
my
Spirits of the Past,
buzzwords.
he did storyboarding and concept art for that, which is an underrated anime movie.
I heard one of my buzzwords, which is sci-fi. So I might have to check that out.
Birdie the Mighty
hello.
Decode is a good show.
All right,
Which
I'm
show again?
already
Sorry?
seeing.
Birdie the Mighty Decode.
I don't know that one.
Also, just known as Birdie the Mighty, apparently, according to Wikipedia.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of a franchise.
Okay,
The original Birdie the Mighty was a set of OVAs
gotcha.
in the late 90s, I think.
Then what? Okay. This requires some Googling. This is the second favorite part of the show where Vlad does Google and sees if
Does
he can
Google in the
recognize
middle of the
things,
show.
right?
Also, I'd like to point out that he was both the director and primary screenwriter on the original Devilman anime, which was better than the Devilman Crybaby.
Don't discredit Devilman Crybaby, though. Still very good, but Devilman Original, still good. Better.
I'm
It
confused
has
by
an
character
infinitely better
designs.
soundtrack.
Yeah. I liked everything
Devilman
about Crybaby,
Crybaby's
though.
soundtrack is by far the worst soundtrack ever in anime.
Isn't it just
Debatable.
like? Isn't it rap? Like, I have not seen anything.
No, it's EDM, but
Oh.
every single song is like the same 3 or 4 notes that are just on a loop.
You described EDM.
There's EDM and then there's good EDM.
He's implying it's bad EDM.
Okay.
Yes.
Don't
get me wrong. I don't
Whoops,
think it's the best
tautology.
soundtrack.
Like, I don't know. My music tastes are a subject for another conversation.
One day we might actually do an episode about anime
That'd be
soundtracks.
great.
I'd love to.
That'd
I
be
would love
awesome.
to, actually. I think that'd actually be a really good topic, actually, because I don't think the Crybaby soundtrack was the best, but it wasn't bad. No, never mind.
It's the worst I've ever heard.
Adding that to the topic list.
To each their opinions.
But anyway, back to Ida. Sadly, we will never actually get anything else from him because he died in 2010.
Rest in peace.
Rest
my
in
good sir.
peace.
Yeah. He was only 49 years old, too.
Yeah, he made it pretty far, man. Not the farthest, but damn, he did a good job the whole
He
way
didn't
through.
make it like fucking Miyazaki length yet.
No, there's a reason this man is quoted as a legend. He's going, man. But they're
He
all
hit
great in their
level
own regard.
49 and just kind of decided he was going to quit his account. Rest in
Yeah.
peace, my dude.
Rest in pepperonis.
Friends.
Rest in paprika?
No, genuinely, all respect to the man. He did a great job.
Yeah, he did.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Brian, what you got for us?
All right. See, I'm gonna play this game now, and I'm gonna do it a lot better than Vlad.
Go for
Okay.
it. Make my day.
Go for it. All right. So I think the first up on my list, I'm gonna start just because I wanted to start with the second guy, but I'm just gonna save him for last.
For the meme, of course.
Katsuhiro Otomo, who was the director on most notably Akira, which was it's my favorite animated film of all time. I absolutely love it. But he does have, obviously that's not the only thing he ever did too. He also worked on Mushishi and we don't talk about the JoJo's OVA. We don't talk about
Yeah,
that.
the 90s JoJo's OVAs. No, he did it, but we don't actually talk about it.
Exactly. But with Akira and Mushishi, those are like his two most notable ones. There's also Neo Tokyo and Robot Carnival as well. But oh my god, I love Akira so much. I saw that one when I saw that immediately following my first anime, which was very mainstream enough, was the original Naruto. So
Sorry.
Sorry? No, I hold it in a special place in my heart. I love it. I love it
No,
infinitely
me
more
laughing.
than Shippuden.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no, you're fine.
It's just describing it as mainstream. It's like, yeah, it's pretty mainstream.
I mean, hey, man, it's one of what I call, quote unquote, the big five that everyone knows. Like when you ask a non-anime fan, name an anime, that's like one of the first three they think of.
The other two being Dragon Ball and Pokemon.
The funny thing is, if I asked my parents that, they'd say Osmosis Jones.
Oh no, it's all right. My mother considers SpongeBob, and she can't pronounce the word anime. She says anime.
Anime.
She says, "Are you watching one of those animes?" I'm like, it's an anime, mother.
I'm
Be a
just
woman
so
of culture.
convinced that's how French people actually say anime.
Is that the French pronunciation for the word anime?
I'm convinced that I've never actually heard a French person say anime in French.
I mean,
but
in French,
I'm convinced that's how they say it.
Well,
I
now
will
I have an
believe it.
excuse to go to France.
There you go. Flies all the way to Paris just to ask the local Frenchman, pronounce the word anime for me in whatever tongue you speak.
I mean, hell, the only reason I really want to watch Hanebado next season is just to hear a Japanese person say "shuttlecock."
Oh, you've mentioned this before. I think I mentioned the whole, I forget the name of the anime, but a baby Ishita.
Baby, yeah.
Baby
Gakuen
Ishita.
Babysitter.
Good grief. I didn't watch the show, but every time I saw
Baby
a commercial
shitter.
for it, it was so funny.
I thought that you were referencing the Australian translation of hentai.
Excuse me?
Oh, have you not seen this?
Sir, we are going off the beaten path, and you have me quite intrigued. Please do continue.
Please finish your thing while I find the source material for this.
No, by all means, go ahead. I shall continue then, my man.
All right.
I just wanted to give my personal thanks to Mr. Otomo because a majority of his popular works that he directed were such just incredible short or full length films that
Yeah.
I just can't begin to express my gratitude for it because it's really influenced my personal tastes in anime and even manga to a degree because he hasn't only worked in film as well. He's also been, he's done writing and penciling for manga as well.
Yes, and American comic books too.
Yes, that is true.
He worked on Batman Black and White #4.
Really?
Yes, he did.
Well, I wouldn't know because I am not a DC fan. So,
but he did do it.
Yes, no, but notably he did do it, and all the respect to it. But my goodness, I actually didn't even know that. When I looked it up, that totally went over my head. Didn't even see it.
It's also worth noting that a lot of the films that he directed, he also was the principal screenwriter for them.
A large majority of them, yes, he really was.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, no.
You're welcome.
Can we not, Vlad? No. Not in the middle of a recording. Fuck you.
No, yeah, that's...
The,
No, I'm just going to silently delete that.
the
moving
Australian
on.
language is
No, thanks.
something else,
Nah.
apparently.
Nope.
No, stop it. Stop it. We're moving on.
Moving on.
Moving
Yeah,
on.
so moving on to the to our number 2 choices, I suppose.
Yes, I'll go ahead and start with mine.
Go
So
ahead.
the second one that I want to kind of shout out is Naoko Yamada. Now, if that name sounds familiar to you, congratulations. I love you. But Naoko Yamada is an anime director who has basically been working for Kyoto Animation ever since she started. in anime. And she is the director behind K-On!, Tamako Market, Tamako Love Story, and A Silent Voice. So basically, she has the market cornered on Moe.
Ah, all right then. I love the Silent Voice so much.
She's also done a little bit of episode directing here and there on a few other Kyoto Animation productions, most notably Clannad. She was
going to mention that.
Yeah, she was the episode director on I think 4 or 5 of those episodes. But yeah, she just shot to fucking popularity when K-On! Was released. And it's so funny to me. If you ask a lot of animators and directors out there what they actually think is the greatest anime of all time, it's amazing to me how many of them say K-On!
Really?
I mean, yeah. Even Araki once said that the greatest anime ever made was K-On!
It's the ideal slice of life.
Oh my
Hirohiko
God.
fucking Araki, the man behind JoJo's Bizarre Adventure,
my Lord
said
and
that
Savior.
K-On! Was the best anime of all time.
My God, maybe I've been bashing on K-On! Too much.
No, K-On's adorable.
See, I'm not a fan of those, types of shows where the whole premise is cute things being done by cute people.
I love it. I eat that shit up.
What do you enjoy in life if not cute shit being done by cute people?
Interesting plot lines and twists.
Sometimes
I do love a show that
What a
really confuses me, which is why one of my favorite shows on my list that most people did not like, I think it was 2015, was Occultic 9.
Occultic 9 is an absolutely terrible anime.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Do you ever turn your brain off and just this is happening now, and this is good?
You have to turn your brain off when you watch Occultic 9 because you have to be brain dead to actually watch it.
Oh, no, I loved it. I turn my brain off when I watch Bobobo because then I can get absorbed.
Well, yeah, but Bobobo is a special anime. Come on.
Do not insult my universe. I love Bobobo.
But
Bobobo is great. I'm just not saying that there's not a lot of, shall we say, heavy-hitting storytelling in Bobobo.
Is Bobobo just like the OG Ora anime?
Yeah, but Bobobo's Weird Journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's also Juju's Odd, what is it? I forget what it was. But I did enjoy it. That type of anime really suits, I like finding things that are unique. And as much as K-On! Is probably really good, it looks like other things that I do not watch. Yeah,
I mean, it's just, it's one of those things that I think you either like it or you don't. But, I mean, she's one of the few high-profile anime directors that happen to be a female.
Oh no! In all respect to her, she does a great job. So.
Yeah, I mean it's a cutthroat market, and especially if you're a woman, you have to work twice as hard just to get noticed.
Mm-hmm.
And she's actually talked about that she feels like that she has to work 10 times harder than any of her male colleagues just to get noticed. But she's also noted that in the last 10 years, it's gotten a lot better than it used to be. So.
Alex, I do have a bone to pick with you, though, in regards to K-On! Ever since you pointed out that every character in that has fucking baby-making hips, I can't watch it the same way.
It's true.
I hate it.
It's not just K-On!
Them and Rika and, they are innocent ladies, and I love them because they're innocent ladies, not because they got them hips, okay?
They do. Every single girl in K-On! Has baby-making hips, and it's not just K-On! Either.
It hurts.
It's also funny because a lot of people think that Yamada worked on Chunibyo, and she didn't. It's one of the few KyoAni shows she had nothing to do with.
Really?
But so many people think that she worked on it.
Huh.
I think she had some input on it, but she didn't actually physically work on anything in the show.
They probably came up to her and were like, so does this look good? Yeah?
Like,
looks Moe to me.
Enough. Good enough for government work.
That's my new excuse from now on.
I use that phrase all the time when someone says, "Was it good? Good enough for government work."
Good enough for government work. I'm going to remember that.
That's my new go-to.
Yeah, I mean, and she's got Yamada also has a new film coming out this year called Liz and the Bluebird. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that looks like something I'll watch.
Definitely check that out if you're actually into her style, which is, I think, a spinoff to Sound Euphonium. I think.
Really?
I don't know.
I'm not too sure either. That one's going off the top of my head.
I don't know.
It definitely has.
I'm pretty sure that it is.
It definitely has like an older look to it, which I'm kind of digging.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all I got for Yamada. She doesn't have an enormous portfolio, but pretty much everything she's ever done, actually everything she's ever worked on, I fucking love.
She's got quality over quantity.
Yeah, that's for sure. And it's amazing to me how something so simple as K-On! Just shot her to overnight popularity.
Was that super popular in Japan, or was it super popular?
Oh yeah,
okay.
It's still super popular, and it's been like off the air for almost a decade.
Yeah, I remember it being
so it just
really
didn't decline at all.
No, and actually, there's a new K-On! Manga coming out soon, so we might get some more anime. And actually, about a month ago, Kyoto Animation put out a tweet, and it was the symbol of the band from K-On! Hokago Tea Time, and the only thing it said was "Tea Time once more, April 2019."
Oh,
so
now I'm
they're
excited.
fucking teasing something big. It's either gonna be like a new OVA or a new concert series, which the girls who did the voices for that show do occasionally go out and do like a concert series every now and then. So that they may be announcing a new one of those. They're announcing something K-On! Related, and it is the 10th anniversary. So.
Oh, I'm excited now.
We already know that we're getting a brand new Blu-ray box set next year, so.
Good.
Give me another anime, god damn it.
Good.
Good.
Good. Goddamn. That all I can hear in that
Everyone
is Gouda cheese. Like, that's all that I can hear when I say Gouda.
Why specifically Gouda?
Because it sounds like good.
Also because the sample at the cheese shop today was some really nice Gouda cheese, and it was to die for. I'm also really hungry right now, I might add.
I mean, you're up.
Well, then hurry up and get your second one in.
All right.
Well, you are up next anyways, Vlad.
I will be better at pronouncing this one. This is Kenichi Suzuki. Da. So I know this director from Drifters, which I absolutely love. That's another Kota Hirano. There we go. Another Kota Hirano joint. But they also worked on JoJo's Bizarre Adventures a fair bit. According to IMDb, 50 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was the series director for Part 3.
There you go.
Yes.
The thing that I appreciated the most was Kota Hirano does like little, almost in his margins, he does mini comics of sorts, where it's very like simplistic in the style, and sometimes they move the plot along, but sometimes they're just little like funny side jags. And in a very serious anime like Drifters, it's very nice to have those moments of humor and levity in there. So having somebody that was able to incorporate that as well as they did was very, very helpful, and I think really made Drifters what it was, which was a very serious anime that had a fair number of laughs. Also,
the comedy bits in it caught me off guard for the first like bits of the show, and I was like, "Wow, I could really get into this. I love this."
Yeah, like it. At a certain point, you get into the rhythm of like, "Oh, we're gonna be really, really serial right here. Oh boy. Oh, and there's a joke. Hey, all right, now time for more serious stuff." Like, it's really. I think Drifters is very well paced overall. And also, you want to talk about delicious trap characters, Yoichi is a fucking gift.
Also, Drifters is one of those shows that has a very distinctive art style.
Yes.
That's the main reason that appealed to me to the show. I love a show with a good art style.
The first episode...
Especially its OP and its ED. Holy
yeah.
shit.
Oh, yes. The first episode, I thought that until he gets to... spoiler alert, the main character dies. Until he gets to like
Wow.
the second life, if you will, the art style was a little off-putting, for me at least. And then I feel like it kind of dropped into like a more typical animation style, which worked a bit better for at least what they were doing. But I do like that they made a distinction between like this is IRL and this is, you know, the world of the drifters.
Yeah. There's a hint of that, and especially with the comedy like you were talking about before, there's definitely hints of that in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, especially part 3.
Oh yeah, Star Wars
Like
Crusaders
you'll
has it a
you'll go
lot.
for like there'll be 2/3 of the episode will be super serious, and then there'll be like the final third is like hilariously like slapstick.
I love it.
I
love it so
point primarily to the Mariah fight in part 3.
I was just thinking the same thing. It was a very serious
That
fight,
fight-
but then like it had bits of comedy sprinkled throughout.
I tell people who haven't watched JoJo's, like, if you're on the fence about it, watch those 2 episodes with the Mariah fight. And if you don't like it, you're probably not going to have a good time watching JoJo.
I usually recommend people watch the Let's Go Eat Italian Food from part 4 to get into
Oh,
it.
God, no.
That's the one I recommend. And if you don't like that, go. Goodbye. We don't need you here.
I'm just
No,
bothered.
it's like, you got to watch the Mariah fight because you get to watch Joseph and Abdul fucking dry hump each other.
I'm just bothered by the fact that apparently only women can have necks. Like, motherfucker, I've got a neck too.
Oh, that gets
Does
better
that
as you
make
go
those
further
women?
along in JoJo's.
Oh
like,
my God,
they
you
get
might have stumbled on
progressively more
something.
bishy.
I'm a woman because I have a
If
neck.
you have a neck.
Good lord.
Exactly.
Gentlemen,
No, they get
I have learned
progressively more
something about
beachy, though.
myself today.
There you go.
I'm sold on JoJo's. I'm going to begin that after this current season. I only have time to dedicate myself to Darling in the Franxx at this point. So after Darling in the Franxx is done for this season, I'm going to pick up JoJo's and just not put it down for like a while.
And you're gonna
That's-
watch it
that's
with
the
me,
way you
right?
do it.
You're gonna stream it with me, right?
Yeah, why not?
You better. You can't escape me.
I would never want to.
That
How
was
you
that
doing?
was
Also, on a side note, Daddy, I love that song. So much.
It's so. You want to talk about like an emotional roller coaster? That entire song, the entire goddamn series, just
Can we
Well, listen,
keep
I was
this
about
for
to-
the fucking spoiler cast at the end
I
of
was
the
about to
season?
say, to keep things a little on tide with things, and also talking about an emotional roller coaster, I'd actually like to move on to my second choice for animated appreciation,
go for it.
which just to quote a wonderful man on the internet here, Makoto Shinkai, is that you? Makoto Shinkai, obviously.
I love that meme though.
Oh,
It's so
I
good.
loved that little. Like it didn't. It was just known in the anime community, but it was funny. I mean, but onto Makoto himself. Most notably for Your Name, of course.
Yeah.
That movie blew box offices out of the water, but other things too. Voices of a Distant Star, She and Her Cat, as you mentioned prior to this, actually.
Yes.
Which-
Which is like it's a short.
I know.
but-
Yeah, it's a short film, which
But
I didn't know.
do yourself a favor. Go find it. I think it's still on Crunchyroll. Go find it. Go fucking watch it. It's so good. It's only I think 4 episodes long, and each episode I think is 7 or 8 minutes long. But it's so worth your time.
Fun fact: Makoto Shinkai was actually the voice of her cat.
Yes, and
Did not know that.
Kana Hanazawa, aka the Queen, was the main character.
Nice. Okay, because I've seen Voices of a Distant Star, but I have not seen She and Her Cat, so that is on my priority list.
It's so worth it. I last year when I went to Anime Expo, I bought the manga She and Her Cat, and it's such a good read.
Side note: where is Anime Expo held again? I forget.
Los Angeles.
Thank you. I genuinely forgot. I don't know why. Plus, I don't live on the West Coast, so I don't care about anything over there.
Neither do I.
None of us do.
Listen, you know what? Let me live.
What?
Please.
What do I know?
Well, I don't know. You said it yourself. What do you know?
I don't know everything, but I do know what I know.
There's your sign. But back onto it. Of course, we have to mention the big one. Of course, Your Name. I'm assuming both of you have seen Your Name.
Oh, absolutely. I've seen it 2 or 3 times now.
I've seen it 3 times, twice in sub, 1 in dub, and the dub was not bad. It was not
Dub
bad.
was actually not bad. I actually watched the dub with my parents.
I watched the dub with a friend of mine, and she was bawling her eyes out.
I cried a lot.
Okay, so fun story. I've actually told this before on the podcast, but you two haven't heard it.
Hit me.
I actually went and saw the Your Name in theaters. Went with Riker, who's another guy on our podcast, and the whole time because he had seen it already prior to going to the theater to watch it. But the whole time I kept noticing that he was looking at me throughout the movie, and he would just look. Every time there was a sad scene, he would look over at me. And then finally at the end, like, it fucking broke me, and I just started bawling like a little fucking baby. and he's looking over at me, and I could tell that he was trying really hard not to bust out laughing. I'm like, you fucking cunt. That's the whole reason you brought me to this theater, was to laugh at me and for crying in public.
He must have seen the movie prior, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He did. He'd seen it a few days earlier.
Good lord.
That's the whole reason he took me there.
No,
the whole
okay.
reason he took me is because he wanted to watch me cry in public.
When I went to watch the dub with my friend, I did that for the same reason. I wanted to see her cry.
You fucking cunt. Why would you do this?
Because I was like, oh, this movie's gonna hit her. I have to see. Because I had saw it once by myself because no one wanted to go with me because they're like, what is your name? Like, it's just a good movie. I promise I haven't seen it, but I know it's good. And I saw it, and I cried by myself. Thank goodness there was only like 4 other people in the theater with me. So I was like,
oh, there were many more people in the theater when we went and
yeah,
saw
no,
it.
when I went, there was, I think the 3 times I went, I think the most amount of people at once in the theater were maybe 12.
Wow.
Yeah, it was not very big where I am.
So there's a little theater near me that I think if I paid them enough money, they would let me rent a theater and just play your name, like on the big screen. And man, it would be worth it to do that. I've only seen it on a small screen, and I'm pretty sure that my friend suggested we watch that exclusively so that they could watch me bawl my eyes out. I know I've told this story on the podcast before. They like got to the very end. I was keeping it together, and they look at me and they touch my arm. I'm like, Vlad, are you okay? And I'm like, no, I'm not.
Nothing is okay.
Nothing is okay.
I love the sound of suffering.
I have choice opinions on that.
Can I actually mention something about Shinkai that I find absolutely phenomenal? And you don't actually see this at all in anime anymore.
Well, please.
So,
this is his time in the spotlight.
Yeah, it's back in 2004. He did a movie that I think is also very underappreciated called "The Place Promised in Our Early Days." He was the director, writer, producer, storyboard artist, background artist, and character designer on that film. He was the one person in charge of all of that.
Lord.
He had 6 jobs in that movie, and he did it so well. Like, seriously, if you haven't seen The Place Promised in Our Early Days,
actually,
it's so good. I don't actually know.
He's the 7 Things. He also wrote the whole theme song.
Oh yes, he wrote the theme song as well. See, 7 jobs. He had 7 jobs on one movie, and it came out so well. I honestly, I don't know where this show or this movie is streaming, but if you can find it, fucking watch it.
Oh my
it's
goodness,
so
I
good.
have seen this movie. I didn't know Shinkai did this.
Yeah.
All right, over under on how much of his soul he sold to the devil in order to be able to do all that. I got 2/3.
I'm giving 4/5.
I'm gonna say it just took a lot of alcohol.
Oh,
So, yeah,
trust me,
4/5.
I've edited videos. It takes a lot of alcohol.
I love
But
it.
Shinkai's a genius.
Of course, yes. Only
Like,
genius
he's
can
going to
do.
be up there, I think, when all is said and done, I think he'll be up there with, like, Miyazaki, with Osamu Tezuka, with the greats.
Definitely.
Yes, no, he's going to be on the Rushmore of anime directors.
Oh, yeah, if there was a Rushmore, I'd definitely put him on it.
Oh yeah, I would too.
Yeah, if there was a Mount Rushmore of animators, definitely put him on there.
Somebody needs to make that Photoshop now. I need it in my life.
Why has no one done it yet? That's my question.
Be the
Well,
Photoshop.
I'm gonna pay you an alcohol to make it.
All right.
Pay
fine,
him an
I'll do
alcohol.
it. I like vodka.
Go, commence.
Don't make me open up Photoshop right now.
Fun fact about Shinkai, and then we can go ahead and end this so Vlad can go eat. Makoto Shinkai actually has an asteroid named after him in the asteroid belt.
Oh, that's
This is
so
a fact.
cool.
This is a fact. Asteroid 55222 Makoto Shinkai.
Wait, you can
Really?
just buy asteroids?
Yes.
Can you buy an asteroid, or how do you get an asteroid named after you?
It's basically the people who discover stuff in space are the people who
Did
actually
Makoto Shinkai
get
discover
to name
an
it, and the guy who
asteroid?
the guy who discovered that asteroid is a fucking huge weeb, so he named it 55222 Makoto Shinkai.
You're joking. This is not a true fact.
No, it is an absolutely true fact.
Oh my god.
This
Hold
is my
on, I'll
fun
link it
fact
to
of
you.
the week.
I'll link it to you, but it's absolutely true. He has an asteroid named after him.
This is amazing.
I just
am
love the
thrilled. I
idea
have a smile on my face.
that some astrophysicist somewhere, such a big weeb, that they're like, you know what's a good idea? Let's name this fucking rock in the middle of space after my favorite anime director. Let's do this.
Also, another fun fact: his name is not Makoto Shinkai. That's his nom de plume, if you will.
Nani?
His
that's
his
true.
his
True.
birth name is Makoto Nitsu.
Which asteroid was it again?
Asteroid 55222 Makoto Shinkai.
Hold on. I refuse to believe this until I see it with my own eyes.
I linked it to you, man.
Oh
You can...
my god, it is.
Oh my
You weren't kidding.
No, I was
the
not
one
kidding.
right after it is also another one.
Yes, it is.
Oh no.
Yeah, the one right after it is 55223 Akira Fukube.
Asteroid 55212 is Yukito Ayatsuji.
I'm kind of a fan of 55221 and Nancy Nobleet.
Nancy, I don't know who you are, but you must have been important.
Somebody's mom, guarantee it.
Guaranteed. Well, that was...
Yeah.
I love that.
Everyone loves Shinkai, even astronomers.
Well, that was fun and interactive.
That was
Yes,
very
it
fun and interactive. Interesting.
But anyway, I think that fact alone is a good enough fact to end this episode on.
I will agree. I'm just a little appalled.
It's appalled. Hey, there are worse things to have your name on, though.
You are correct. You are 100% correct.
Anyway, thank you all out there for dropping in to listen to us. We hope you enjoyed it because we always enjoy bringing this kind of stuff to you. If you want to check out previous episodes of the podcast, you can find us on SoundCloud, iTunes, and or YouTube. If you want to keep up with what we're doing and have a little more fun, you can join our Discord server, become a member of the Facebook group, follow our Twitch channel, and visit our website. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, criticisms, or concerns on this or any episode, feel free to shoot us an email. Links to all of these things will be down below in the description. As always, I have been your host, Alex, and I will see you next time. Say goodnight, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, Poon Poon. Go the fuck to sleep, Poon Poon.
Go to fucking sleep.
Come on.